Alright, welcome back everyone, it's your Code King Zaf here. Let's jump in and cover the number one question right now when it comes to solving Rise, and that is whether or not our motorcycle riding babe is worth it to summon for. You can see we got her all the way to the advanced 10 mark, and that took us 790 summons in total. A big rip to my summons. I'm very curious though. In the comments let me know how many summons took you to get her. I'm very curious. 790 for me. I think for A5 it took us 490, but I want to see if you guys had better luck than me. This time around it was a bit rough. But speaking of rough, I would say right now when it comes to Seorin, she's our hardest breaker. She does not pull any punches. She breaks the targets instantly. Watch this. We're going to jump in. Your jaw is about to drop. I'm going to showcase just how good she is. Watch very carefully because trust me, that break bar is about to disappear. We're going to jump in. Remember when it comes to Scorpion here, on Battlefield Trials 460, there is no elemental weakness. So right here we're jumping in with no weakness on a target. We use our skill here, we use this skill, and we use our core attack, and in a flash, the target is broken. That took us 6 seconds in total. She is pretty much the best breaker in the game right now. The only comparable unit would have to be our windbreaker, which is Goto. Now, when it comes to Seorin, there's one statement I do want to make. When it comes to pulling her or not, you know how we have Esil and Kanae as hunters, and how we have Seorin and Cha, not our light hunter, but the next hunter is going to be a water version of Cha. We're getting another version of Cha coming in for the first anniversary, who is going to be a water defense scaler, but that's pretty much confirmed by the passives that Seorin does provide to our team, which I'll cover. But if you were to skip Seorin just to summon for Cha, that's like skipping Esil to summon for Kanae. It just doesn't make sense. You need Seorin on your team to make sure Cha excels, but that is just the assumption. We're basing it on pretty much game knowledge that we have, pretty much on assumptions we can make based on the brand new workshop mode coming out, because you can see right here that Seorin will be built for the workshop based on this passive here that kind of gives us a hint towards her stats. But I do want to cover whether or not she's worth it. That way you know for a fact if you should summon for her in this update or wait for the brand new Cha to come out before you make any decisions, of course. Now, I do want to remind you very quick, if you want a bunch of free codes sent directly to you, to go to link down below. It's free. You press that button, you scroll down, press yes, and you're done. You're supporting us. Then you just wait. After a while, you go to your My Page section up top here, you press that button, this page comes up, you scroll down, my name comes up here, and under receive benefits all the way down here is where all the unique codes will go. We have 2 codes right now, with 5 more codes coming out, so make sure you support us that way, you don't miss out. We have 1,000 Essence Stones and more coming out next week that I do want to send to all our Juice supporters, so just support, don't think, and you will get all those benefits, of course. Now, jumping back into Seorin, honestly, her damage was comparable to Alicia. Yes, that's right. Our best water DPS was honestly dealing as much damage as our water breaker, our new one. So it's kind of a shock based on what we can expect with Cha coming out that she's going to be an absolute demon. Her damage is going to be crazy. I just know it. That water unit, the first anniversary unit, cannot let us down. So right now when it comes to Seorin, I'll tell you what our sweet spot is. Based on our testing, of course, that stream took us a while and I'm pretty tired, I'm not going to lie. I passed out instantly after our stream was done. But you can see right here when it comes to Seorin, her advancements are not too bad. Overall, when it comes to her main focal point, she has 2 to ensure you get the right damage bonuses to your team. The first being her A3 advancement, giving us the black tea question mark effect because, you know, she asks us if we want tea from the lobby, but it gives us a 20% defense and HP increase, which you might say, well, Zaf, why do we need that? We have attack scalers on our team with Alicia. Well, that's because Seorin was not built for Alicia. Alicia's main damage source is her core damage, her core attack, and Seorin right now, based on her passives, provides 0 core attack or core damage buffs. So, honestly, Alicia is falling off. If you want to have a proper, quote-unquote, proper water team, you don't really need Alicia. You need Seorin and the brand new hunter coming out, which is Cha, which is unfortunate. We can't say just yet whether or not she's falling off for sure, but until we have the workshop coming out, it looks like Alicia is going to be second fiddle to the brand new Cha unit coming very soon, so keep that in mind. But I do want to say when it comes to Seorin right now, based on her passives, she's a self-buffer all the way until the A3 mark, where she has provided herself a buff to a 20% HP bonus, but the 20% defense bonus is what the brand new Hunter Cha will need, because she's going to be a defense scaler. Just like if we jump to melee, you can see we have other bonuses here, not just core damage, but we have defense bonuses too. So we can say right now that Meilin and Seorin are more or less also built for the brand new unit coming out, where only right now Meilin, it's kind of built for Alicia too, where we do get some core tank bonuses coming in, so keep that in mind. Seorin and Meilin are for Cha, but Meilin is for Alicia, so it's up to you what you want to do. I won't say right now that Seorin is a skip. I don't think that's the case. I feel like Seorin is going to be one of those hunters we use for a very long time, a staple for our teams, providing insane breaks, providing insane damage by herself. The A5 mark is insane, but I digress. When it comes to sweet spots, A3 is a must, and A4 as well, giving us a total of a 30% water damage increase, stacking up to 3 times 10% each for a 30% bonus is nuts. That's a ton. We need that bonus coming in to ensure damage is off the charts silly when it comes to both Seorin and Cha coming out very soon. But her A5 bonus, honestly, isn't necessarily a must. It gives her a ton of damage, trust me. When we got her to the A5 mark, her damage started to become bonkers. So much damage coming in. She gets a 100% crit rate bonus to her missiles, that is, and a 30% crit damage bonus as well, and her overall bonus is increased too. The Sub-Zero team effect doubling, of course, from 10% to 20%, which is a lot, and the limited break effect giving her a 50% damage increase, a 50% missile damage increase, and a 50% crit damage increase. I think it's up from 20% from the original passive here at the A1 mark, so that's a fairly big boost. One of the bigger boosts we have on a hunter from the A4, A3, A3 mark all the way to A5, a very high damage multiplier, so keep that in mind. But when it comes to summoning or skipping, honestly, I don't think on my end that Seorin is a skip. She seems to be a very capable hunter that we're gonna need later on, so it's up to you. Remember, if you skip Seorin to summon for Cha, that's like skipping Esil to summon for Kanae. It just does not make sense. These hunters come in pairs, we need them together to excel, so keep that in mind please. If you don't summon for Seorin right now, you have to wait for another month to summon for Cha, which is not ideal. We have some water breakers, of course. We have Jiwoo, we have Nam, and they're fine. They're good water breakers, more or less, but Seorin is just crazy. She's so much better, trust me. Her break is just, I have no words to describe it. Her break is so good. Let me show you. Let me jump with Jiwoo, for example, and see just how fast she breaks target here. Let's go Battlefield Trial 60, and her damage though, let me just mention that. Her damage is not comparable to, although Jiwoo might be decent, I don't want to give her too much credit. She's really fallen off. Although she's a decent breaker, she's just missing that damage front, that buff front. She doesn't have what's needed on our team to make her a viable hunter, but let me show you. You know, with Jiwoo, she spams. I haven't used her in so long, honestly. So you can see right here just how mediocre she is, though maybe not. Maybe I'm talking out of my bum, and she's honestly a good hunter that we're just not utilizing enough. Let's see here, we're going to jump in and see just how good a break is. Of course, the Scorpion goes down. It's okay, though, not a big deal. Let's say we're starting from here, and let's see what happens here. So, the break isn't, yeah, it's not the best. You can see how long it's taking us. It's taking a very long time, which is not ideal. She gets resets off, which is nice, right? Doesn't matter how we use her. She's very easy to break with, but it's taking us close to, what, 30 seconds just to break? I would say 20 seconds, a little bit more than that. Not ideal, so keep that in mind. Seorin breaks super fast, gives us buffs, and she deals damage by herself, where Jiwoo just doesn't meet the mark. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. I want to know in the comment section down below, do you plan to summon for her or not? Very curious. That way we can kind of see what the consensus is. But on that note, that's all for you today. If you like, drop your like. If you want to subscribe yourself for more content, do that too. But also, please make sure to support us that way. I can't send you a bunch of juicy benefits. We are the #1 creator for a reason, because I make sure every single person gets a code. So on that note, this is your Code King Zaf, signing out.